I want to play a little bit of LeBron James' comments after the game last night. He was already turning his focus to the Lakers and that playoff push post the All-Star weekend. Take a listen.
Looking forward to the second half of the season, and looking forward to see what we can do to get back in this playoff race. That's my only mindset. That's the only thing that's going to have my mental space for this next 2 months. Pretty much on how I can get this team, playing the type of level of basketball we were playing before my injury.
All right, they got 25 games, Nick. What do you think?
I'm not optimistic.
No?
This team has had its chances. They were never as good as they showed on Christmas against the Warriors. I don't think they're as bad as they've been without LeBron. I've watched LeBron, guys, way too often over the years to think that they have no chance because we know that he can put a team on his back and carry them. But if they go in the tank in these next 2 or 3 weeks, I think LeBron's gonna be like, you know what? I gotta make that Space Jam remake this summer. I'm good on this year. It's already a disaster.
I'm good, love. Enjoy. So I think, honestly, it's not necessarily realistic, but there is still hope. The Lakers haven't made the playoffs since 2013. And you have these young guys who have been really wilding out. They've been dead, especially approaching the deadline. No one needed the break more than the Lakers in the entire association. So if you look at this team, I genuinely believe that if they focus, they still have LeBron James, as you alluded to, took a team that was very new at the trade deadline period last year, and then turned that into a finals run. Kuz was the Rising Stars MVP, 35 points in that game.
LeBron basically averaged a triple-double almost after the All-Star break last year. If we get that LeBron again, and by the way, it's not just the numbers because he's had a triple-double in the last couple games that since he came back from injury, but you know what I mean. It's the way he asserts himself. It's that whole thing, but I wouldn't count a LeBron James team out. He's got to be that LeBron James. And we saw in the game against the Pacers certainly, but also in the game against the Hawks right before the break, there were a number of times he had the opportunity to assert himself. He had Trae Young switch up on him toward the end of the game when he should have gone in for what could have been a real dagger basket. And instead, he passed out to the corner and Brandon Ingram. And I don't know if it's tentativeness with the groin injury. It's the worst injury of his career.
I think that's what Scottie Pippen's watching. But that might be just it, though.
Right? I mean, Scottie has been critical of that, and I think it just depends, and maybe it is. Look, I mean, it's the worst injury he's ever had. I understand kind of being ginger and getting back, but if he's that way now after the break, they won't make it.
What a disaster, though, for the Lakers. This is a team that thought they were making a big push with all these young guys.
They were fourth before he got hurt.
But all of a sudden, what we've learned in the last couple months is that all those young guys aren't good enough to be the core of a title team. And when you play with LeBron, you aren't trying to squeeze into the 7 or 8 slot. You're trying to build for a title, and they're not good enough.
They have proved they're not good enough to be, forget the core of a title team, good enough to be the 8th seed in the playoffs. And again, everybody knows, as you said, what team did he take to the finals last year? If you look at that core, are we suddenly, I know the Eastern Conference, Western Conference is different, but are we thinking that team went to the finals? This team can't even get to the playoffs if that happens. What's it going to say, as you said, about those?
And the Kings and the Clippers will have something to say about it.
It's going to say Space Jam.